When I started Good Help Electric, one of the first things I needed was a service van. After looking at a lot of options, I ended up buying a 2013 Ford E250 with only 27,000 miles on it. My goal was pretty simple: build something reliable that I could use for years to come. I decided to buy the shelving new. There were some used options available, but I knew once everything was loaded with tools and materials, I wouldn't want to tear it all apart and do it again later. I chose a floor saver style shelving system because I wanted to make better use of the space around the wheel wells. I've never used this style before, so it was a bit of a gamble, but I figured I'd make it work. Once the shelving arrived, we unloaded everything and staged it in the van overnight. The plan was to get it installed the next day. The next morning, we got started. The installation wasn't nearly as straightforward as I expected, and before long we found ourselves watching installation videos, trying to figure out how everything was supposed to go together. Once we understood the system, things started moving. We positioned the shelves, marked the anchor locations, drilled the floor, and began securing everything in place. My dad came over to help with the project, and I was really glad he did. There wasn't much room to work inside the van, but having an extra set of hands made a big difference. Getting all the shelves lined up turned out to be one of the more challenging parts of the job. The van floor isn't perfectly flat, so it took some patience, some prying, and a fair amount of trial and error to get everything fitting the way it should. Just as we were getting close to the finish line, the rain started. Fortunately, all the shelving was already inside and we were able to keep working. The overhead support brackets ended up being the most frustrating part of the whole project. The bolts were barely long enough, and getting the nuts started in such a tight space tested my patience more than once. Near the end of the project, it was getting dark. I was installing the bolts mostly by feel, which is good because my headlamp died. My son came out to help, but I was almost done by then. When the last bolt finally went in, it felt good to step back and see everything come together. The shelves were installed, everything was secure, and the van was finally starting to look like a service vehicle. The next step was loading it with tools and material. I used cardboard bins to organize everything, and while it might look a little chaotic to someone else, I know where everything is and it stays put while I'm driving. The finishing touch was having the Good Help Electric decals installed. Now the van is stocked, organized, and ready to get to work serving homeowners throughout the Treasure Valley.